Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's the Monday mashup. Both me and Marky on your screens every Monday here, bringing you these Premier League reviews. Marky, how are you, my friend?
I'm all good, Cuz. Thank you very much. How are you keeping?
Not too bad at all. Marky, we've a lot to talk about in Ref Watch.
Yeah. It was a busy weekend, wasn't it?
Yellow was certainly the colour this weekend, wasn't it? Good
Record
lord.
breaking weekend.
Absolutely crazy. But folks, if you can, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video. As always, Hogan Elite Trophy Horror Mark, take us away.
Lads, again, like I keep saying in the chat, if you can give us a follow on Instagram, a like on Facebook, lots of events coming up. Just organised something for Christmas week with Luke and United there. Um, I think it was last week or the week before. I was chatting away to them. And we still have that fun day in Kinnegad that has to be rearranged. Getting a few bookings for next year for confirmations, communions for next April, May next year, and all. It's mad. And of course, we've plenty of Legends events as well. Ian Hart was actually out in St. Joey's launching the Leeds United Legends game there last Saturday. So no, that's gonna be unreal. They're gonna start announcing players soon for that. That's gonna be a massive game because like I said before, first ever Leeds Legends game over here, and we know what following they have over here from everyone and stuff.
Massive.
So it's gonna be an unreal day,
Absolutely.
And
So
of
make sure,
course, like I
folks.
said, but we will get Browner on the podcast over the next few weeks as well to have a chat about the
Yeah,
games coming up next year and stuff like that.
absolutely. So make sure, folks, Facebook and Instagram, make sure you give Marky that follow. Yep. All right. Let's get a few comments.
Definitely.
Warren's in. Big up. Go on, Noel. Hit that like button for Noel. Warren,
Oh, you
I
are.
seen your I seen your video earlier about the videos and stuff like that. Folks, if you can after this show, go over to Warren's channel, Warren's Team Talk. He's having to re-upload some videos that were deleted by a person. So they're gonna go
Cheers.
down. I think he said they're gonna go up as rebroadcasts or something like that. So if you see those rebroadcasts going up on Warren's page, get over there, drop a view, drop a like, all that good stuff. Support the man. My man from the Friday night show, we did 1 hour 45 minutes on Henry's channel
Oh yeah,
last Friday
Henry.
previewing, and we couldn't Henry have got it any more wrong. There you go for that Forest game. That's for sure. Big up, Henry.
I
Make
just
sure you support
seen
Henry's
some.
channel.
I just seen that video there, Warren. I have it there. I'm after giving it a like. Yeah, the one you
There
just
you go.
put there a few hours ago, 4 hours ago.
Brilliant.
There you
And of
go, man.
course, our man is in. Our man is in from the red side of London. North London is red. Hello, mates. Hello, you. Morris, big up, Morris. Make sure you're heading over there. Cheap Productions podcast as well. And Baz
And
is in.
Leinster House. And Leinster House.
And Leinster House as well, of course. Yeah, absolutely. And all team
Baz.
DJing and Fibber McGee's and everything else.
Go up the
Baz is in.
fivers.
Yeah,
How are you,
absolutely. Hi, Mark, and
Baz?
I'll hope you're well. And you, Henry.
Good man, Warren.
Uh, yeah, so make sure get over there and make sure you're supporting Warren, always putting in a shift and stuff like that. Just before we get into just a little bit of housekeeping, folks, just to let you know, today I did a reaction to the Forest game. Absolutely did my head in, to be honest. I also did a preview for the AC Milan game. I can't believe the Champions League is upon us
Tomorrow
already.
night,
It's
baby.
unbelievable. And also tonight, obviously, the Monday mashup. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, 1 hour early start. Pro Wrestling Weekly will be on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on the channel, because I have the Champions League at 8. And then on Wednesday, Marky, me and you back on the screens again. William Tyrrell is going to
Yeah,
be
Will's
on.
coming on.
Chief Scout for Norwich in the Republic of Ireland and stuff like that. We're going to be talking with William. Should
Good
be an
lad. He's a
absolute
good lad.
blast. So make sure you tune into that.
I wonder
And
will
also Thursday
I'm
will be
looking forward to
Thursday
hearing
Fair Talk.
I'm looking forward to hearing the stories about the old college years.
Oh, absolutely.
Plenty of stories
Um,
there.
Joanne's in as well as always. Big up Joanne.
How are
And
you,
Ted is in
Giovanni?
as
All
well.
right?
And the
How are you,
United
Ted?
win. It's been a while to discuss, absolutely.
Big time.
Thanks so much, lads. That's very kind. Not a bother, Warren. Anytime, we're all here to support each other as always. Right, but before we start, Mark, news came to us about 4 or 5 hours ago. One Gary Shaw has sadly passed away.
Yeah, seen
Aston
that.
Villa
Yeah.
player, 1982, won the European Cup with Aston Villa, of course. 213 games, if it serves me right, my memory, 79 goals. Sadly passed away at the age of 63. Was admitted into hospital on the 9th of September. Took a fall and a head injury and has sadly
Yeah.
passed away. Gary Shaw. So
Terrible
RIP
news.
Gary
Terrible.
Shaw and our extended condolences to the Shaw family and the Aston Villa family and everyone else out there and all associated with Gary. Very, very sad news, and especially like this when it's so abrupt and, you know, so tragic and stuff like that as well. But our thoughts and prayers from the Upper Tier podcast go to Gary and his family and all that kind of stuff. So Godspeed, as they say, yeah. So there you go. Right, let's get into this Premier League review. And we'll start off with your club. Southampton 0, Man United 3. A missed penalty by Archer, the silly clown. Matthias de Ligt, a man who's been getting a lot of grief from the international break, comes up trumps with a goal. Bruno Fernandes with the assist. Rashford, Amad Diallo with the assist. A red card for Stevens, which, by the way, not the 2-2 at a certain person's horn. He gave us a 40-1 winner on Beat the Bookie last week. If you look at his carded bet, and I think Jack Stevens was one of those players who got a red card.
No,
and it was rounded out on 90+6 with Garnacho, Diogo Dalot with the assist. Thoughts, Marky, thoughts.
Yeah, I always felt this game after the international break would kickstart our season if we won. Obviously disappointing performance against Fulham the first game, albeit we got the 3 points. Then Brighton we showed glimpses, and of course we were annihilated by ourselves just before the international break. So for me, it was a massive game to get 3 points on the board. And in fairness to Southampton, first 20-25 minutes they started off. Jesus, Bass, two comments tonight. Go on,
hanging around. We're only 2 minutes in. Tell you.
The PlayStation must be uploading or something, does it? But yeah, no, like I said, Southampton first 20-25 minutes, they were really playing some good stuff, and we found it hard to get into. And then obviously they won the penalty. Dalot kind of stupid diving in, you know, that sort of way. Initially, I thought it was outside the box, but obviously seeing the replays, it was just inside the box. But yeah, it's one of those, you know, they missed the penalty, and you know, from a Southampton point of view, if you're a fan and all, you're looking at the team. How do you bounce back from that? You know, will their heads drop? And lucky enough for us, they did, and we took advantage of it by getting, you know, 2 goals in fairly quick succession. You know, it was a good header, both from set pieces, really. You know, good header from de Ligt, and obviously good finish by Marcus Rashford. And de Ligt actually played a good part in Rashford's goal. He was kind of in the way of the keeper, but being in an onside position as well. And yeah, it was. Listen, second half, then you go 2-0 in at half time, and you're like, right, how can you how will the lads react? They better not sit back and let Southampton come at us. But I thought we played some good football. I thought we tried to walk the ball in at times. We could have killed it off a little bit earlier than we did. And obviously the sending off is a sending off, and it changes it. And but for me, I was only talking to my dad earlier about this. I was saying, I think they made a triple sub in the 73rd or 74th minute, I think it was. Diaz came off and stuff like that. So that kind of spurred the crowd on. And like if Southampton scored, then it's 2-1. You know, it is squeaky bum time then for the last 15, you know, minutes or so. And yeah, but we did it. Listen, 3 points, 3 goals, clean sheet on the road, and I'm delighted with that. And like I said, hopefully he can kickstart our season, you know.
Yeah, Warren wants to know your thoughts on the Oiler manager saying he doesn't need to go to watch Irish players playing for their clubs and can get all the information he needs from a computer app. Listen, we know that this guy wasn't. This guy was not the choice. We know that, and this guy has parachuted in for a handy payday, and it's a joke, really. Unless he has a lot of Icelandic players that he knows with Irish passports. Maybe that's the case. I'm not too sure, but
you look at Carsey. Carsey was in Villa Park on Saturday evening, and then he was at the London Stadium yesterday for the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Sorry, for the North London derby yesterday. That's what you need to be doing, you know. I'm sorry, Birmingham are after going 2-1 up there against Wrexham. You know yourself,
there's no excuse. No excuse.
No, listen, you could sit there. I heard he travelled back to Iceland on Wednesday afternoon or morning, whatever it was. But listen, you can sit there and read the amount of stats as you want. There's nothing beats going to a football stadium and you get to see how a player moves off the ball and, you know, his runs off the ball and, you know, you can't see that from a computer screen. So I think it's a bad move from himself. I didn't see John O'Shea either in at any of the matches, which you would have assumed if he's not going to be there, John would be at 1 or 2 of the games. I didn't see him either, so I don't know. I just think it's not very good. Obviously, you can't really judge him on the first two games, given England and obviously Greece have gotten the better of us over the last few meetings. But like he needs to, we've Greece and Finland away next month, and then we've the last two final remaining games in December. If he doesn't get anything, in those two games next month, big trouble for him. Especially, it's not going to doing his reputation any good with the Irish fans with the way he's going on, and some of the press conferences and stuff like that has been ridiculous. Like it's farcical.
Yeah, you get the feeling this guy feels like he's getting paid for the week of the international break or something like that, and he doesn't have a job to do outside of that or something.
It's ridiculous. No,
it's
ridiculous.
And again, and I tell you one thing, if he gets sent packing, the people involved in hiring him should get sent packing as well, because it's an absolute disgrace.
Sure, that's what. Obviously, when he first signed, he was seeing it in Dalymount Park, and he was seeing down in Galway and here, there, and everywhere, just as PR stunts, just to show his face at this. He wasn't looking at anyone; it was just to show his face around the place to keep everyone happy. And that's a joke, like absolute joke.
Ted wants to know during the game. We'll probably cover it during ref watch. But what did you think of Bruno's yellow playing on after the throw in the whistle?
Yeah, I actually thought it was harsh. I didn't think he heard the whistle, and he went across it, and I thought the referee could have just had a word with him and said, "Listen, the whistle was blown." The stadium was, buzzing at that stage because it happened nearly close to the United end. So the United ends the United fans were obviously singing fairly loud and stuff. So it was a difficult one for him. I thought it was very harsh. Let me know what you thought yourself, Ed, as well.
The problem for Bruno, I suppose, is his reputation precedes him. So you're never really sure whether he's telling the truth or not. You know what I mean? And that's the real problem for the ref.
I know, but yourself, because genuinely, if it could have happened to Suarez back in the day. You always know when they're genuine. Where they for me, he hasn't heard the whistle, but obviously with the whole Declan Rice situation a few weeks ago, the referees
and we had a yellow.
lenient.
Didn't we have a yellow yesterday in the North London Derby as well, over the line to play as well, didn't we? Wasn't there one yesterday in the North London
Derby? There was.
I
was trying to think who it was. There were so many many yellow card cautions over the weekend.
Was it Ben White? I think I'm not sure. I'm
Could
not sure, but I know they dished out one yesterday, and I was going, there you go, Declan Rice part 2. And listen, this is the way. Now listen, the referees are a shambles. I'm going to show you a graphic later. You want to see the amount of yellow cards these boys have been handing out, not just this week.
Yeah, no,
I have it here. I have it here for you. I have it here for you. I have it here for you. Next up, Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. Didn't expect this to be a 0-0. Brighton with 21 shots, 10 of them blocked.
Yeah, it was. Muric had an absolute stormer in goal. Did you see the double save he pulled off? Like, he was on fire. Obviously, Brighton will have Ferguson and Pedro coming back. I know Pedro is saying a 75% chance of playing the next game. So you'd like to think he'll come back, but yeah, they're just wasteful in front of goal. But an absolute valuable point away from home from Ipswich. I thought Delap had a great opportunity. Did you see it hit the inside of the post? If that goes in, it's a totally different game. But like I said, the keeper kept him in it. Great signing from Burnley last season. At the start of this season, sorry, he played very well for Burnley last season. Made a mistake against Brighton last season for Burnley, actually, but I thought he looked world class on Saturday. But like I said, great point for Ipswich.
Yeah, Warren, it's probably not a cost-cutting measure, because if this goes real south, they're going to have to pay out this guy's contract for absolutely nothing. So I doubt it. And if you look at the FAI, I mean, most of those guys who travel around to look at games, they're generally free in, they're in hospitality, they're entertained, they're given everything, they're not paying in or anything like that. So it's only maybe flights around the UK. And I was looking at a thing there. There was a guy actually mapped out on Twitter the other day. If he wanted to go looking at games, he could have went and looked at the Southampton game and seen X amount of players. He could have then went to the Brighton game and seen X amount of players. And he literally could have done nearly a road trip around nearly in the one day on a Saturday and took in maybe 3 or 4 games and seen quite a selection of players. So
you're seeing it, like even Brian. Remember Robbie Gaffney told us he's close with Brian Kerr. Brian said when he was manager, there's a person in the FAI that you can ring up and say, listen, next weekend I want to go to such and such, such and such. They ring the clubs, respective clubs, set it up, and it's as easy as that, you know. And
Oh yeah,
Brian was
100%.
very good for that. I know people slag him or whatever, but he was very good for, and he knew Irish football anyway. It was in his blood, you know. So I think the new Irish manager has to go to these games because it's not in his blood. And you know, like I said, I think he's starting off on the wrong foot with the whole fan base, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's move on. Crystal Palace 2, Leicester 2. We did say that this would be quite a big score on Thursday's show. I figured there'd be a
Yeah.
lot of goals in this.
Yeah,
Um,
and Jesus, Jamie Vardy, what man? 37. He looks bleeding 27. The sing on by Gay, like the touch around the
mm,
goalkeeper was unreal. Great touch around, great goal. They'd be very disappointed, obviously, that they let Palace back in the game. My feeling was Mateta's goal was offside. If I'm being honest, I didn't. I know there. I think it was the Leicester Rifles leg was meant to be playing him on, but you couldn't really see it. I don't know what the last thought in the chat from the replays and the angles. You couldn't really see the full thing, you know, of the line gone across from him. So I thought suspicion that Mateta was offside for that one, but obviously, listen, it gets Selhurst Park rocking, and they get their way back in and get the penalty then. And I think was Connor Cody only on the pitch a few minutes and he gave away the penalty or something like that. It was a silly penalty to give away, and Mateta slots it into the bottom right corner. And yeah, it's a 3 points, you know, taken away from Leicester. That could hurt them at the end of the season.
yeah, Cody came on in the 83rd minute, and it was 90 plus 2 for the penalty, so probably around
Right, yeah,
90 or 89 probably for the
yeah.
foul.
So he wasn't
Yeah,
on
he
too
was
long.
carded on 90 plus 1, so probably the 89th minute, so he was 7 minutes on.
7 minutes, 3-1 Birmingham now in the 58th minute. Wrexham are faltering.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, next up, what have we got? Next up, we have Fulham 1, West Ham 1.
Yeah, I thought Fulham played really well. I thought they deserved to win it. If I'm being honest with you, I think Traore was unlucky. He had a penalty shout pushing the back, could have easily been given. West Ham, yeah, I don't know. They obviously they got the late goal by Danny Ings late on. I thought Somerville was kind of quiet during the game, and I'd like to see him be played it from the left hand side. And obviously, if you're not starting Antonio, obviously you could play Bowen as a false nine and stuff like that. But yeah, I really think West Ham are lucky to get the point. I thought Fulham played really good football at times and deserved the 3 points. But yeah, it's a bit of a change for West Ham, isn't it? They're teeting around with some formations and stuff like that. So they're trying to nail something on the head, and obviously it's early enough in the season to be able to do that. But yeah, they're riding their luck at times.
That's right. Morris was telling me it was Saliba yesterday who got carded for
Was it? Yeah.
yeah, as far as I know, yeah, absolutely. I knew it was one of them anyway. Could Arsenal have seen red yesterday, Mark?
Initially, when I seen the challenge, I thought yes, but then I seen the replay and you take into consideration his foot going. But what the ball actually takes his foot onto the opposition player. But what I thought was a bit crazy is obviously he got cautioned for it, and then he puts his hands on the goalkeeper, Spurs goalkeeper, like that. That could have well and easily been a second caution and a red card there, which I thought was a bit. I thought the referee could have done that, and I think if he did, I don't know what the lads think in the chat. I don't think he'd have any arguments for giving him a second caution for that. You know, I remember Casemiro was sent off for less.
That's right. Morris was unlucky with his bet at the weekend as well. He had a 90-1, and Liverpool let him down for Liverpool.
Oh, no way, man.
Yeah, so very unlucky. Yeah, Morris is saying he's talking about the accommodation and airfares. Yeah, it's not that expensive now, really. You're talking about, you know, for if our friend the Icelandic to go look at games.
Oh, sorry, yeah, sorry, Warren. Yeah, I get you. No,
Listen, if I was getting paid his money, do you know, if I was getting paid his money, I'd have all my mates in an RV and I'd be going up and down the length of breadth in England, full of scoops and stuff, and all having the crack. That's what I'd be doing.
Like, come here, like that's all that be all paid for under the FAI. That's one of the expenses, but it's for him to be able to put his itinerary in and say, listen, on Saturday I'm going to be at Southampton, on Sunday I'm going to be at Bournemouth, on not Bournemouth, on at Spurs. you have to be doing that. And like I said, it's the first weekend after a really bad 2 defeats, and you think he tried to do something for PR, and he hasn't.
Yeah, like in fairness, the FAI money is tight there at the moment, but it's not quite that tight. That we can't afford to send this lad to a few matches and stuff. You know what I mean?
If a dad working 40 hours a week, paying a mortgage, doing this, that, and the other, can bring himself and his kids over for a weekend in England and a match, the FAI can lump up some money for the manager to go over and watch players.
Yeah, I did hear someone saying that the FAI were trying to reduce their carbon footprint. Yeah, let the fucker walk. Yeah, that's why we hired an Icelandic coach.
Oh,
one of the cleanest countries you'll ever see.
Love it.
Unreal. Ted's in. The Arsenal one not getting a red was strange because I don't think it would have been overruled if you gave a red, but wouldn't overrule the yellow either. Yeah,
it's one of those in between. You look, like I said, the ball, the way he rolled his foot over the ball, it kind of changes it was a tough one. But like I said, it could have been easily a second caution for grabbing the referee. Ted, you know yourself, Casemiro was sent off. Remember that in Old Trafford, down at the side of the pitch for grabbing. Who was it that he grabbed? That little blondie lad. Fuck. But yeah, it could have been well easily given,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Timber played very well.
Timber was fantastic. Fantastic at left back, Morris. He was brilliant at left wing. He was brilliant at left forward. Everywhere. He was everywhere yesterday. Really, really good. I remember having a discussion with Darren, and he didn't think he would work left back. He didn't spend a whole lot of time yesterday left back, in fairness. He spent most of his time up the other end of the pitch and stuff like that. He was cropping up everywhere. Ted wants Kenny out. Maybe we want Kenny back in. Careful what we wish for, is what they say, isn't it? Warren's in. I agree, Mark. I think it is shocking. Yeah, it is. It is shocking.
100%, Warren. 100%, man.
Morris in. Casemiro's a violent individual like Xhaka.
Like Xhaka. Granite Xhaka. Granite Xhaka.
There we go. We got on to Ted's coming now a second. Liverpool 0.
I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Where do I go with this one? If you want to know my review of it, I did it this morning going into work in the car, and I was absolutely steaming, not only at the traffic and not only at the stupidity of cyclists, but also at the stupidity of our own team. I don't know what to make of it. No one really showed up. No one came back. The international break is a killer as well, isn't it? And I know all the teams go off and stuff like that. But like, you're playing 3 games and you're going off international break. We're going to come back and play about another 6 or 7 games, another international break.
Yeah.
Then we're going to come back and play another 7 games, another international break. How are you supposed to get any momentum going? You know what
exactly,
I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
It's a real killer. I said to Darren the other day, instead of starting the season in August, why don't we start the season in October and just box off August and September and play all the internationals and just be done with it, and then just play right through October all the way through to May then for the football. It's just so frustrating the way this calendar is laid out. And listen, before anyone comes at me, I know it's there. It's everyone is affected by it. I know that. I'm not using that as an excuse. We were absolutely dog shit yesterday all over the park. There's no doubt. Or on Saturday, I should say. Forest, I think, were full value for their. We got Nuno as well, I have to say. I don't know what he was thinking, because the 2 wingers came on, Elanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi, which we know what they're about. Get the ball direct, head down and run at you. And for some reason, we decided to change formation and maybe go to a back 3. What were we thinking? How did we think we would resolve that problem by going narrow?
Yeah.
And he was skinning the boys.
Fancy Endo at all, cause no?
I know he has a history and a reputation of playing with a very small squad and using a limited number of players. I think he will fancy him eventually. I think what happened was Gravenberch has been playing so well. And in fairness to Gravenberch, even against Forest, he played pretty well as well. And the one thing I seen about Gravenberch on Saturday was not only is he a ball playing kind of 6, this new kind of 6 that they're looking for, but he also put in a few good tackles on Saturday and looked like a bit of a destroyer as well, which I like.
Yeah.
But there was few and far players. I mean, Trent was awful. 31 misplaced passes or something like that.
Seeing that,
yeah.
I thought Forest played well though, cause as well. Do you know?
No, they did play well. I thought Murillo was outstanding all day. I thought Yates put in a shift. I thought they were really good to a man and stuff like that. And I thought Nuno was very clever in the way he deployed his wingers and the timing of it as well. I thought our substitutions were bewildering. I thought when the players came on as well, I thought where we were trying to stretch the play and open for us to give us a bit of space, we actually condensed it even more. So you had the likes of Nunes and Gakpo occupying the same space, nearly tripping over each other at times, couldn't even string together a 3-yard pass to each other, a give and go and stuff like that. So what can I say? Salah will never drop a worse clanger of a game either. Absolutely deplorable yesterday. But as I said on the review, I said the good news is that we get to ride it a little bit on Tuesday because we have another game in the San Siro, and we got to get that right. And let's see what Aaron is about as well. Let's see if he rings the changes about players that didn't perform, and let's say we might even see Federico Chiesa on home soil. Let's see what happens there. And I did a preview as well, folks, for the AC Milan game. Some interesting stuff in there. Obviously, Loftus-Cheek playing for them, Tammy Abraham, Christian Pulisic, to name but a few. Rafael Leao is my problem. How are we going to contain him if we couldn't contain Callum Hudson-Odoi? That'll be interesting. And is there a case for Joe Gomez to go on the left? Robbo, not too good. Costas, absolutely worse. So let's see what happens. Let's see who plays up front.
Were you surprised Diaz got taken off on Saturday?
Do you know, he wasn't, do you know, he had, although he was so very good in the first 3 games of the season and during the summer, and the boys who all went off on international break, most of them performed pretty well as well. But I think he came back and we seen shades of the old Luis Diaz, where lots of energy, lots of activity, no end product. And that was as much down to Forrest as it was down to him. And I just think just decision-making was poor, passing was overhitting, disjointed, playing too many Hollywood balls over the top and expecting them to land. Forrest were lovely, compact and condensed, so you were never going to get away with that anyway. And we kept on doing it instead of trying to tread balls through the lines onto runners and stuff like that. And then they dragged us down into their game of that dark arts of, you know, we're bringing us down to their level, and they did it so good. So hats off to Forrest. We were really poor on the day. I'm hoping I just chalk it down to a game. It's always in us. That type of game, for some reason, is always in us. When we look back on our season, it's not normally because of the cities of this world or the Arsenals. It tends to be the Brentfords and the Nottingham Forest and those type of teams and stuff that do more damage to us than anything else. So we'll see. Let's see what tomorrow night holds. Let's see what Arne thinks. He was fuming after it as well. So we shall see. But it'd be interesting to see if he does deploy Federico Chiesa tomorrow night on home soil against the old enemy AC Milan as well. So should be interesting. But check out the preview. It's there. I did it in the car on the way home. Busy day today. This is podcast number 3. So we do not stop, as they say.
Fair play, Gus. Fair play. No, and if you don't want to watch the game, the San Siro tomorrow, Manchester United versus Barnsley in the League Cup.
Don't miss that.
Exactly.
Next up, Man City 2, Brentford 1.
Yeah, Brentford gave them a bit of a shock scoring so early, but I've said this about City so many times before. No matter if you go 1-0 or 2-0 up in the Etihad, you always feel they're just going to come back and win. And obviously, Haaland, condolences about the passing of one of his mates and all during the week, and there was kind of 50-50 if he'd play or not, but he said he wanted to. And I was expecting to see his name on the score sheet 3 or 4 times. You know, when he got the 2 goals, you're expecting the hat-trick to come along and stuff like that. But another win, and obviously, they, like I said on here before, they can only concentrate on what's going on the field of play, and let the higher beings worry about what's going on behind the scenes with the charges and stuff. And that's what they're doing. They're just getting on with their jobs and picking off wins and it's going to be so hard to beat this season again, you know.
Yeah, we actually couldn't, Morris. We did look at it, but the offer that came in was 7 million. Apparently, we're not going to let Kelleher go for 7 million. He's probably the best number 2 in the league. Apart from
he's getting frustrated, though, isn't he?
He is getting frustrated, and he will go next summer. But there was talk of Alisson potentially going as well. So until that was ironed out, we couldn't really do it and stuff like that. And obviously, Marmadashvili, who we have signed as well, he's going out on loan for the year, not coming in until next year. So I would imagine you'll see a very different goalkeeping situation at Liverpool next season Allison will probably go, and Keller. You'll have Marmadashvili, and of course with Keller as well, with signing Marmadashvili as well, he's going to go in as the number one. So Keller wasn't getting the number one spot anyway. So I'm sure that frustrated the hell out of him. But
how much he's looking to get from? Probably 25, 30 million or something like that.
Yeah, about 25 to 30 million is the market. And to be honest with you, he's worth every penny of that, to be honest. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have no worries. The one thing I say to Liverpool fans all the time is, if Alisson's out, we know how brilliant Alisson is. We even seen against Forest the other day, even though we lost 1-0. But we know how brilliant Alisson is. But when Kelleher comes in, I don't have any anxiety around like that. He's more than capable as a deputy.
He's a great keeper. He used to be not as good with his feet, seeing him down the Kenny Cup and stuff like that, but he's so much better with his feet now. Always good shot stopper and good at collecting crosses. He was always that bit taller. He was always about a foot over the lads that he's playing with, you know. So
he's playing with a confidence as well. He's very confident at the moment.
There's a bit of a swag going on him, and like that's coming from training with the likes of Alisson day in, day out and stuff like that, you know, you can see it in him.
Yeah, but also he's been very successful. He's been very successful.
Listen, didn't he score a penalty in the League Cup final that time, and he played a stormer in that game and stuff. So absolutely, you know, any times he's been called upon, he's been excellent.
Yeah, no, he's been excellent. Arsene Wenger wants a cap on the number of international breaks and play all the international matches in those breaks. I think it was 2 or 3 per season. I just think the whole structure of the fixture calendar is just getting out of hand now. I just think it's ridiculous. Absolutely. Thing is, Warren, what that is the governing bodies have the power, and what they want, they get, no matter about the fans.
It's all about the ching.
It's all about the money. Please, can you tell Antonio will be a bit late on Wednesday? There we go. No problem.
I'm just saying, sorry, right. Did someone comment about Dundalk there a few minutes ago? Cause
did I say one on Dundalk?
I don't know. I think, was it Warren? Warren, did you comment on Dundalk?
Yeah, he didn't, DJ. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say there was obviously fears today that at 5 o'clock it'd be announced that they've gone into liquidation. But from what I heard, there's 2 businessmen from Dundalk had a meeting with Brian there today at about midday. So they're hopeful that they can come up with some sort of agreement. Obviously, the club are over $1 million in debt. They haven't played their players in the last 2 weeks as well. So, from what I heard today, they had a meeting at midday, but it's definitely not getting liquidated.
Hopefully not, anyway. Hopefully not.
Well, the Dundalk fans, they had to 5 o'clock today, but like I said, there was a meeting with Brian and 2 businessmen from Dundalk at midday today. So they're hoping that something can be resolved, you know. But you just feel sorry for the players. They haven't been paid. They're in limbo. Obviously, bottom of the league. You know, it's been tough for them this season. And you look back, I was chatting to my dad about this earlier as well, where he was over here with me. You look at the amount of Champions League and Europa League qualifiers they've played in and got money from, and Oriel Park hasn't changed at all, and they still use that epoxy pitch in Oriel Park, that Astro, and the amount of the little black bobbles and stuff with referee down there and stuff. It's a horrible pitch, to be honest. Stuff. So it needs exactly. It needs investment. You know, it definitely does. Drogheda are trying to improve their ground over the last few years. Not that you know by looking at it on the telly, but they are trying to do things off the field as well. But Dundalk need it. So hopefully.
What do you reckon happens in the League of Ireland? Has anyone ever looked at it? Because you get these teams like Dundalk will come along and they'll be flying and they'll be winning the Irish League and they'll be in the Champions League and all this kind of stuff, and all of a sudden collapse. Same, you get Drogheda who are flying high and then they suddenly collapse. We've seen it with Cork City suddenly collapse. But what is it? Is this a mismanagement of funds? Is it linked back in any way to the FAI? What is it? Because it seems to repeat itself all the time, like with whoever the top team is. You know?
Before Brian, there was another American owner as well, and apparently a lot of money went AWOL there and stuff like that, and it left him in a bit of debt. Brian came in and bought the club and was paid off the majority of the debt, but obviously it's been building up behind the scenes, which he hasn't let on to any of the fans or the players or the board know about. So it is tough. you look at so many clubs. Like I played for Dublin City myself, the under-21s. I was involved with training for the first team, and I can see, Roddy. I said this story on here before. I was out training. Barry Ryan was the first team keeper, so myself and Barry used to train together. We'd go out first, and the lads be in the dressing room. We were out also one day, and Roddy Collins comes in. We all know what Roddy's like, and he brings in Effin Akuku and Carlton Palmer, and we're kind of looking at each other. So like, Roddy was literally bring those lads over on a Thursday. They were put up in the Gresham Hotel. They played on the Friday, and then they flew back to England on the Saturday, all paid by the club. And what happens is a lot of these teams, you see Dublin City, Sporting Fingal, and we see them with Monaghan. It's the insurance as well, and the funds that Cabinteely's the most recent. They had Stradbrook out there. It was a great idea at the time. Obviously, it just comes from money. They couldn't afford to keep it afloat.
Yeah, it's like as if they get this influx of money through the success of either winning the league and then the European endeavours and all that kind of stuff. And they get an influx of money and then they lose their mind. And they don't think, listen, we should still have a 5 and a 10-year plan here. We shouldn't be living in the now. And they all start living in the now. And everyone joins the circus and the party, and it just all falls asunder.
And it's tough as well in the League of Ireland. I said it again, I've said it on here before. You're playing that many games, 30, 38 games in a season, and you for the winner, it's 150,000 prize. And if Shamrock Rovers qualify for the group stage of anything or win a game, they get 350,000 straight away off UEFA. For playing, like, do you know what I mean? It's probably 4 games in a row to qualify if it depends on what seed they are. But like to go on a course of a whole season in the League of Ireland and get 150,000, it's an absolute sham.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, right, Morris. And Buckley Park was probably one of the best League of Ireland stadiums outside of Dublin. Like, if it was unbelievable. I think the stand is still down there and all, isn't it?
Probably.
I think the stand is still there, Morris. Yeah, no, 100%. It'll probably tell us. But yeah, there's so many. Like, it's ridiculous. But what I will say, lads, if you're in the chat, go to your local League of Ireland team, support them, go to the games. You can't beat a live game in League of Ireland. And now people are the standard, this, that, and the other. You look at the amount of players that have come from the League of Ireland to play in the Premier League. Mason Miller's another one that's going to be. If he doesn't go next year over to England, it's a travesty. He'll definitely 100% go over to England, like,
Yeah, Morris mentioned, or Warren, I should say, mentioned Maidstone as well, who went as well.
Yeah.
More politics.
Remember Berry? Remember Berry went that time?
And yeah. That was just barely out of COVID, weren't we? Or during COVID, was it? I'm not too sure.
Just before COVID, I think. But I watched a documentary about that, and there's a big scrap here in that game. But it'd be the same with Dundalk, like, because if they went into liquidation, it doesn't just affect the club; it's the whole town, the businesses around the town that would do business on a Friday evening before the games, the local pubs, the local shops. It affects everything. It's such a shame to see.
Yeah, the local clubs, especially, like, they're the heart of like, you can see it even now with the likes of Ipswich coming up, and we seen it last year with Luton. And the effect it has. And when they do these documentaries, you see it with the Wrexham documentary. Look at Wrexham and how they're trying to regenerate the whole town, the whole town of Wrexham and all, and get it vibrant, get it going again. And a lot of that stems from the club and stuff like that. You get a bit of success in the club, and then it pitters out to everyone else, and you go on that roll, then it's huge. Yeah. Massive, Morris saying, the stand's overgrown here with weeds and grass. That's a shame. The history down there is phenomenal. Like,
it was
very sad.
It was a great little stadium. Like, it was a great little stand there and stuff like that. And obviously, it was. Listen, it's tough for Kilkenny because if you're not born with a hurl in your hand down there, there's something wrong with you, that sort of way. But it's such a shame, and it's great to see Kerry have done it over the last 2 years. They came up, and listen, it's in the league. Like, obviously, the Division 1. You can't get relegated because the next league down is really Leinster Senior top league, So, but for Kerry to come in, it was great. Galway, have had a resurgence lately. They came up. Caldwell's down there doing a fantastic job and stuff, and the crowds. I was watching a bit of the Rovers Galway game there. I still call it Terryland Park, but the crowds down there on a Monday night, fantastic to see, and It needs to be more teams outside of Dublin as well. Like I said, Kerry are still there, and please God they stay there because it's such such a shame to see all these teams go.
I'd say the boys up in Dundalk would love Qatar to buy Dundalk.
Yeah, and actually, just while we're on it, I was going to say a bit
Big up, Evan.
congratulations to Aaron, who was on the show on Wednesday. Won. They're through to the semi-final of the FAI Cup.
Brilliant.
They play
Excellent.
Wexford in the semi-final, and it's Derry and Bowles in the other semi. So
I think my
the draw worked out really well for them as well.
I think my buddy is still at Wexford. Is he, James Keddy? He's
I
working
think
down. Isn't he
is
Wexford
he
or is
there at Bray? Was he involved with Bray as well?
he was originally he was with Bray for a while, but I
And he's
think
there with
is he
Wexford
down
now,
with?
is he?
I think he is, as far as I know. I can't
So yeah,
remember.
no, it was a great draw for both teams because obviously, Bowes and Derry is the big toy in the semi final. But to see, obviously, Aaron was here on Wednesday talking about. It's great to see that they're one step away from the Aviva either team.
Yeah, absolutely. Go and support your local clubs no matter where it is, because it's
Warren
only when
Hunt,
they're gone that you realise, Kyle Walsh
100%.
country, yeah, Wexford,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. We
Warren,
gas here, we could do a preview for that semi final. See, could we
yeah,
get James on and Aaron on?
and
That'd be
Aaron,
some
yeah,
crack,
that
wouldn't it?
yeah, it'd
Yeah,
definitely
that'd
be
be
well
some
up for
crack.
that.
Yeah.
But
So I
Warren
think
definitely
he's still there. I must check it out. Yeah.
No, give him a message. But no, I was just going to say to Warren, I don't know if you know, but I have a big affiliation with Blackpool because when I was younger, we'd go over there every year. And I remember going when it was in the old league, Division 1 and Division 2. And it's a great day out, It's the fans are so passionate, and it's the fans and the volunteers that keep these clubs alive. I don't know if you watched that program with Peter Crouch before when he went back to his Dulwich Hamlet.
Brilliant.
It was unbelievable program, and it's great to
Brilliant.
see.
Yeah. You've even bigger affiliation now, have you, with Brucey there?
Great win. I was against Exeter and on Saturday, 2-1. Got the winner in the 94th minute.
I was listening to I seen a thing earlier on the internet. I was listening to his interview about his time when he was leaving Newcastle, when the Saudis came in and Amanda and all came in. A lot more respect for him now.
Yeah.
A lot more respect for him. He was on his 1,000 game and he gave it up.
Did you see? Did you see what he said as well? He was in the house there during the week, and his phone started going off at 6:30 in the morning. It was a private number, so he didn't answer. And 2 minutes later, a message came in for Sir Alex. You're probably on your way into training. Just wanted to ring you to congratulate you on the new job and stuff like that. So yeah, Sir Alex was ringing him at 6:30 in the morning, thinking he'd be on his way into work, but he was at home having a coffee in the kitchen.
Coffee and a bag of sausage rolls or something. Probably. Fair play to Brucey. Anyway, let's continue on with the review.
Yes,
3-2 Aston Villa. Everton. Another 3-2.
Yeah. Listen, to give away another 2-goal lead again, just shocking. They're 2 games in a row. They're really up against it. Deutsch is under a lot of pressure at the minute. But from an Aston Villa point of view, Jesus, James Klein getting abuse off the fans there. From a Villa point of view, good to see Watkins get 2 goals. Like we had just only talked about his form. He hasn't really kind of got into gear, and he showed it there. And listen, a man who I talked about after the Leicester game there a few weeks ago, and what a goal. Duran comes on and scores an absolute worldie. Like for him to come in, he's 20. To come from the MLS from Chicago, I think it was 13 million or something, and to adapt to the Premier League as quick as he has and as comfortable as he has is it's just unbelievable.
And just for you Everton fans, Luca Digne and Ross Barkley with the assists. Just want to mention that as well. Just to let
Ross
you know.
Come on, didn't he? Ross come on, yeah. What a goal! Like, did you see Martinez's reaction when the goal went in?
After the transfer window, myself and Darren were talking, and Darren made the point that Ross Barkley could be pivotal to Aston Villa in the later stages of games and stuff like that.
100%.
So there you go. Great show.
Especially with the Champions League kicking in now as well and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of switching around and all, and oh man, just unreal.
Yeah, had Villa in my local GAA last man standing week 1. Very good.
Chelsea let me down the other week, Morris, so I wasn't too happy.
Definitely a goal of the season contender. 100%.
Definitely had the curl and all on it. It was just, and how far it was out. He's been unbelievable when he's gotten a chance. Like I said, I'd like to see him start, but he's been coming off the bench and he's been doing wonders.
And we finish out. We got Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 1.
Yes.
Talk to me
Yeah.
about this game.
I-
Christopher and
yeah.
Kunku. Jadon Sancho, Mark. Jadon Sancho.
Yeah,
Balling out.
Listen, leave him to it. Listen, he's with Chelsea now. He's their problem. I don't. Could he claim the assist on that one? Could he? To
Well,
be
I'm a
honest with
Liverpool
you,
fan. I give it to him.
yeah. See, I thought all joking aside, I thought Sanchez had an excellent game. I thought he was unbelievable, man of the match for me. He pulls off some really good saves. Obviously, the penalty save again. It's one of those. It's 0-0. They get a penalty, which I thought was a penalty. It's fine, yeah. Like I said,
Like the
like I
phoenix
said, Morris,
rising from the ashes.
he's their
Like the
problem
phoenix
now.
rising from the car in the car park, huh?
Yeah, he's their problem now. I don't care about him. Now, listen, Chelsea, great win, and I think that was probably the game on Saturday that had the most yellow cards, if I'm not mistaken. But in fairness, Chelsea had 9 fouls and they got 8 yellow cards. Anthony Taylor, what a yeah. Seriously, like.
We're going to be talking about it, aren't we? We're going to be talking.
Yeah. We'll wait a few minutes.
We're going to be talking about a Sancho reborn. Warrington 800 to 1200, not 89. Yeah, absolutely. If they'd only 89, Morris or Warren would be in trouble.
Yeah.
Ted's in said the same. I thought Sanchez should have got man of the match. Absolutely. 100%. And 14 yellows. There was 15 yellows. Because didn't the manager or someone pick up a yellow as well? There was 15.
Oh yes, yeah. No, he did. He definitely carded.
Maraska got booked as
Maraska.
well. There was 14 outfield players on Maraska, 15 yellows. Joe Felix was Semenyo was the. Oh no, was Felix 15 and Semenyo was 16?
Jesus
I'm not too
Christ, that's
sure now.
unbelievable, isn't
Hang
it?
on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. So Joe Felix was 14 to break the record, and Semenyo then was 15 to break that record. So the record, I think, got broke twice. There you go.
That's what me mate Duffer, the Chelsea fan, was texting him. He says he was afraid to shout at the telly in case he got booked.
Yeah, absolutely. Ted is coming in. 16 yellows for players and 2 for managers. It wasn't 8. There's not 8 in. Yeah, it was mad. 14 players and 2 staff there. Yeah, it was. I thought it was 16 as well. Yeah, so there you go. Right, next up, then we went into Sunday. North London Derby.
Yeah.
This was a chore, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of those. You look at the Spurs lineup and obviously Arsenal are missing Royce and Odegaard and stuff, but I thought Arsenal did very well. I was expecting a bit more from Brennan Johnson. He hasn't been given too many starts, opportunities to kind of show what he can do, and he's kind of looking like a player that's done a really good job for Forest, and obviously his dad was a legend there and stuff like that, but he hasn't really settled into life at Spurs for me, and he's finding it fairly difficult, but listen, fair play to Arsenal, very well organised. They,
Great goal.
Great goal. Listen, great goal. Free header though. You're looking at from a Spurs point of view. Free header on the 6-yard line, but well worked by themselves, and Saka done very well. And yeah, really, really good win for them. And going into the game, I was thinking score draw. I was thinking 1 or 2 all. But I thought they were, like I said, very well organised. Arteta had them playing some good stuff when they needed to. It wasn't one of those games where they could play their normal out and out attacking game, because they knew Spurs had, with their midfield and their forward line, they'd get catch them on the counter attack. So I thought they were very well organised and needed to play the football they need to play at the times they need to do it. So I thought it was great 3 points for them.
Yeah, it's an indictment on Spurs, really, isn't it? That they couldn't they should have been much better yesterday when you think about it. Like, they were really, really poor.
Yeah.
And it was a depleted Arsenal side,
It was, and listen, Spurs have the quality to do it, but it's one of those, I think, just it's not as if Arsenal suffocated them and stopped them, but I just think they were so well organised. Spurs probably weren't expecting it from them. They were probably expecting them to be a bit more open, to leave them vulnerable for the counter attack. Hence the reason you look at the midfield and the starting lineup, very attacking minded, and it didn't work that way. And I didn't think they had any plan B.
Don't be hating on that bench, Morris. That 17-year-old that came on, what's his name, Nweri? He looks a tidy little player, doesn't he? A tidy player for sure. Warren's in as well. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Smash that like button, folks. Really important.
Warren, when I liked that video there, I pushed the subscribe button, so I have subscribed to you there. So you have a new subscriber at the start of the show there.
Do you know what I would say about that, Joanne? It wasn't a great game, but you know that game?
No.
They're the type of games you look back on at the end of a season that are pivotal to success. And I'm not saying it will pan out that way. It's early days and stuff like that. But that's the kind of result that, Arsenal might have even been happy with a draw there yesterday. They were so
That's what I would have said. But
so, you
were right, Joanne. It wasn't the greatest of North London derbies, but from your point of view, listen, with Liverpool slipping up and obviously City winning and stuff, like you had to get their vital 3 points, it was 100%, Joanne. But listen, you take it all day long. Like I said, 3 points, clean sheet away to your biggest rivals in North London, obviously North London derby. And like I said, with Liverpool dropping points and City obviously coming from behind to win, it was vital that you got those 3 points. So I think it was a very well deserved job by Arsenal.
Keep playing like that on top four as ours. Give off.
Yeah. Kenny out.
Joanne's what's all this about Man City getting deducted points? I'm not too sure. I haven't heard that. And I know there was stuff on TikTok today, but I haven't heard that. And I presume the trial started today, didn't it, of course? Yeah, the trial started today.
It's
and United gaining points. There you go. So we round out with the last one there. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Wolves in Dreamland with a start. First goal, 1-0 head start. Lamina on 36. Fabian Schär off Bruno's assist with a goal. And speaking of lovely goals, one Harvey Barnes with the winner on 80 minutes. Willock with the assist. Cracking goal.
If you were coaching a team of kids and you wanted to see them cut in and take a shot, and get them to watch that video over and over again of that goal, it was just unbelievable. Share like, yeah, did it take a deflection, Shares one, didn't it? Took a little nick off on the ball. Yeah, because I was just going to say, he only scores worldies, doesn't he? I've never seen him score a normal goal, obviously for a centre half, but great Harvey Barnes. And can I just say, lads, I don't know what you think in the chat, but that Newcastle jersey is on fire, isn't it? Just from based on the Ginola one and all, I thought it looked daily. Again, I thought and Gordon had a great game again. How he didn't get any minutes in the Euros is beyond me, but
Barnes scored that goal and then missed a little dink. If you freeze framed, then you think it was the other way around. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Even you look at that Harvey Barnes goal as well, and they even give Willock the assist as a stretch, really, isn't it? Because he done so much work before he scored. Like, it was crazy. And I'm happy to give Willock the assist.
3 players and bang.
But absolutely.
Great win for them. Obviously, they haven't started off, all guns blazing. So that might be the kickstart that they need, a win away to Wolves, and I think obviously not having the pressure of the Champions League and stuff this season, you'd like to see. But obviously there's rumours, I don't know but there's rumours obviously how been strongly linked with the England job and stuff. So when there's rumblings like that, you'd wonder what's going on behind the scenes.
I think he still has a lot to do at Newcastle, doesn't he? I think the England job will be still there for him in another 2 or 3 years anyway,
Yeah, he's young enough. I think he'd be a big loss, not just for Newcastle, but for club football and Premier League if he does go into international football this early in his career,
Yeah, Isaac possibly injured as he came off at half-time after hobbling a bit, Probably
glad I didn't have him in my fantasy. Glad I didn't have him in fantasy.
But the old table has taken up a familiar side, isn't it? It looks even after 4 games. It's looking pretty familiar, isn't it? City at the top, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Villa, Brighton, Nottingham Forest, of course, on a bit of a tear. One of the stats I looked at the weekend, actually, after 4 games, Mark, 5 teams undefeated.
Yeah.
After 4 games. That's shocking, isn't it?
Yeah. It's Forest. That's unreal, isn't it? Like
unreal. Unreal. And I tell you, it's and there's a lot of big teams there that aren't in that shake-up when you look at it.
Yeah,
You look
yeah.
at Spurs there,
And
not undefeated.
Brighton as well, and they've been
Ourselves.
missing it. Brighton have been missing a few big players as well, in midfield, and
Yeah.
obviously up top, like I said, Pedro played the other games, didn't play the weekend, but Ferguson hasn't played at all this season as well, so they'll be hoping to get those back as well. Maybe giving them a run out in the League Cup during the week and stuff,
They keep on pulling off those
Arsenal.
0-0s against the likes of Ipswich and all. They might even go invincible. Who knows?
Yeah, looks like they're very wasteful on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Let's get into Champions League back this week. Always love it. I wasn't actually aware. It was interesting. I was putting this slide together, and normally I do Champions League, Europa League, Europa Conference.
Yes,
I went and looked at it.
I
I looked at it today, and I was going. Something flashed up about the. I think it was Baz who mentioned that you are playing in the Carabao Cup this week, and I was going.
Barnsley tomorrow.
You're not playing in Europe. I didn't realize that they had changed the weeks and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. So literally, you're looking at this basically. It's AC Milan versus Liverpool tomorrow night, 8:00 at the San Siro. Sure to be an absolute belter. God help us if we don't contain Rafael Leao. That's for sure. Young Boys versus Aston Villa. Which should be interesting. Aston Villa, really looking forward to seeing Aston Villa's first home game at Villa Park with the Champions League music and all that. Should be pretty cool for the fans. Man City versus Inter Milan, another plum toy. I think that's on the Wednesday. And then Atalanta versus Arsenal. Arsenal away to Atalanta, very dangerous team, especially at home. Really attacking side and stuff like that.
All about that.
That's on the Thursday, as far as I know. So there you go. So we got 3 days, as far as I know, of Champions League football.
Good the way they have it.
Yeah, it's nice the way it is kind of spread out and stuff like that, isn't it? So it should be interesting. And it'll be interesting then you flip it next week then. These teams are in the Carabao Cup and you guys then are in Europe and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting. So
what's your prediction for tomorrow? You probably said it on the other show, did you? But
I did it on the preview, and I could say you have to watch it if you want to find out, but I'll give it to you.
No, I will. No, don't. No,
I'll
watch it. I'll watch it.
You're going to watch it anyway. I predicted 2-2.
Okay.
I predicted 2-2. I predicted 2-2. I think Villa will get the win away. I think definitely. Man City and Inter probably a draw. And I'm going for Atalanta and Arsenal draw. 3 draws on the win for Villa. That's what I want.
I think City will nick it by a goal.
Okay.
But it depends who Pep goes with. You know how we think as his team, especially, so
because this is the first game of 8. I wonder, is this the time to give Haaland the time off for the friend?
That's what.
Because it's the first game. Maybe I don't know. I don't even know what's going to happen with us. As I said to you earlier, maybe Chiesa comes in and features or something like that. I'd like to see him play and stuff like that. Joanna's going for a 3-1 win to Milan.
Nice one, Joanne.
She's more interested in Atletico Madrid. Wait till I see now. Where are we going? To go back way up here. Here we are. Here. Thoughts and prayers for the 30+9% of people without talent in fantasy football. Morris didn't change it amongst all the fury about him.
I've Haaland stuck with him there. I stuck with him as well. I had him as my captain. I stuck with him.
Yeah, this new format will be great, calling it. I hope so, because we're going to have a look at the Carabao Cup in a minute now, and I'm not sure whether they did the teams dirty in that one, that's for sure. That's me, Morris. I kept it with Watkins, so worried. So it worked out okay. Shame my captain Salah, though it is, yeah. But look, you would have expected Salah to have a field day on Saturday, so it wasn't a bad choice. It just didn't work out. I'm more interested in Atletico Madrid. That means we don't have to watch any Europe next week. Great. Oh, yeah. Morris, me and you will always be watching. If Chelsea, United, and Spurs are involved, we'll be watching. Don't worry. AC Milan 3-1, Joanne said, of course. And then Young Boys 3-0 to Villa. Big win away from home. They'd love that. Yeah, I think Liverpool, Villa over Savills Boys and Man City and Atalanta. Yeah, absolutely. Joanna's thinking Man City 4-0 against Inter.
Morris thinks Atalanta.
Man City, Atalanta, yeah.
No,
tough place to go.
It is, but I can't. I think a draw, but
do you know what I'd be more concerned about? They're very good on their travels as well. They did a number on us in Anfield.
Oh no,
that's where the toy was lost. Liverpool 2-1 win.
wasn't a very typical Italian away performance by a team, was it?
And it was a filthy Liverpool performance as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
that
were
attitude, I
trashed that
suppose.
night. Villa 2-0, City 2-1, and Arsenal 3-0. Not bad to have good shouts. Atalanta 2-0 from Joanne against the Arsenal.
Joanne's an Arsenal
Celtic to,
fan, isn't she?
Celtic to win at home versus Bratislava. Massive game for the boys, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see Celtic get through for a change, wouldn't you? Love to see
Like,
Celtic get through.
like,
Progress.
obviously we all remember as a United fan, we played them a good few times up in Parkhead and stuff like that. And remember that when it was a James Forrest scored against Barcelona that time and stuff, and
Mm.
always a tough play. Then the place would be hopping, like
Do you know what I
Um,
shared today?
what's that?
I shared McManaman's goal against Celtic at
Did
Anfield.
you?
Remember the
Oh,
mazy run
yeah,
up the wing and the
yeah,
cut
yeah.
in?
I do
Came up
indeed.
today, yeah. Yeah,
That was a
came up.
Carlsberg jersey, wasn't it?
Morris, how much did that cost you? Finally going to Arsenal game, going to Leicester away February 15th.
No
Day after
way.
Valentine's Day, Morris. No love, man.
Leicester away.
Well,
So what? You fly into Birmingham and then only down the road.
there we go. Celtic won't progress until they bring their number one fan out as a mascot. There we
On
go.
the head.
Right, where am I going next? Carabao Cup next. Massive,
Yay.
massive drop off, isn't it? Go
Where
from
the big
Champions League
boys
to
come to
Carabao Cup,
play.
where the big boys come to play. You might not be able to see this. If you can't, I will call them out to you. So
Oh,
this
I can
week's
see that.
fixtures, we have Stoke City versus Fleetwood.
Yep.
We have
Charlie Adam
Everton
against his
Blackpool
old
versus
team.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
We have Brentford versus Leighton Orient.
Yeah.
We have Everton versus Southampton. What's the chances of Everton getting through that? Goodison.
Yeah, I'd say they might. Southampton probably play a weaker team, to be honest. And Everton probably play a weaker team.
Here's the idea. If they lose that, do they sack Deutsch and bring in Moyes? If they go out of the cup to Southampton, do they make the change?
Um,
Is
I'd say
Moyes
they
in
give him.
charge then for the weekend?
I'd say they give him the weekend game because he probably has everything in place for the weekend game already. So they probably give him that and then pull the trigger on Monday or
But sure,
whatever.
he's had everything in place for the last 4 games.
I know, but obviously it's obviously tough, when
Yeah.
you're sacking someone on a Tuesday and you've a match the weekend then. So I'd say, yeah, listen, they'll give him that game and pull the trigger after that. Then, yeah,
A game, funny enough, that I'm really looking forward to. I might not get to see much of it though because of the Liverpool game. Preston North End versus Fulham. That's going to
should
be
be
a
good.
cracker.
Yeah, a lot of
Well, they've got
a lot of Irish interest in the Preston squad as well. So
then a real old school fixture there. QPR versus Crystal Palace.
London
That's a
Derby, yeah,
throwback, isn't it?
yeah.
United take on
Great game.
Barnsley. What do you reckon for
Yeah.
United? Will he ring the changes?
Yeah, I was chatting to my dad about this earlier. Say by in there, by it will start and goal. Maybe Anthony will get a start. I don't know how far Malassi is away. I heard he's back training and stuff like that. You'll probably go with the likes of Maguire and Evans and Collier might get a game and stuff like that. So yeah, there'll be plenty of changes and stuff. And like I said, give a few of the lads a run out. He might start Garnacho. Garnacho hasn't started yet. He's been coming off the bench, so we might start him as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting. I'll be sitting here. I'm gonna split screen. I'm gonna have the United Barnsley game on. I'm gonna put the Blackpool and Sheffield Wednesday game on. That Stoke and Fleetwood game be good. Charlie Adam is going back to Stoke as well. Stoke obviously sacked their manager today. Schumacher got the elbow. There's talk of the Norwich assistant going in. There's been one or two other names linked with the job as well. So one of them was Neil Critchley, funny enough. But yeah, listen, good, great night of football tomorrow when you're toying the Champions League and then obviously the League Cup as well. If you're a United fan, and Wednesday we'll probably get into that now as well.
Yeah, Brighton and Hove Albion versus Wolves. That's going to be an interesting game. Surely that's tailor made for Evan Ferguson.
Yeah,
And we have Coventry City versus Tottenham.
I'm looking
Tottenham
forward to it.
need to do something there, don't they? Tottenham need to get their season going, don't they?
They do, but like Coventry over the last few years, they over the last probably 3 years, they've become such a tough team to play against. Particularly, obviously, when they got back into the Rio Arena and stuff, and they knew, that that was gonna, because they were playing games in St Andrews, which is on there in the background and stuff. There was a lot of kind of upheaval and stuff, so they've settled down now. Mark Robbins is in charge there and stuff, and they are a tough team to play against. So it'd be tricky. I can see Spurs going through, but I think it'd be a tricky game.
Interesting. We shall see. Tough place
Hope
to go
so,
to Coventry.
Joanne. I hope so. Sorry, I've just seen that comment there. I hope it is.
No,
Yeah,
3-0.
yeah.
3-0, yeah. Right.
Fingers
Ref
crossed.
watch. This is the graphic I said I prepared for you. Pull this down off the Premier League side. Premier League side are giving too much information away these days. No surprise at the top two anyway.
Yeah,
Trigger happy these two anyway. I was surprised to see the likes of Paulson, Adwell, and Kavanagh down so low, to be honest. And there's some of them there have
I
only
think
ref 2 games.
Kavanagh's been on a lot of VAR duty as well, so he hasn't really been on the field of play, but mainly in the boot, you know.
And the way things are going, he's a game behind the 2 top boys, and he has like what 8 cards to fill. So that's nothing. That's nothing these days.
Exactly.
What are you making of this at the weekend? Is it a directive there at the moment in the early stages of the season, and they're getting card trigger happy? Will that pull back a little bit now, and they'll start not going crazy with cards, and then it comes back again? You know the way they get a directive from the PGMOL, and they're boom, 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 and then they eventually go, we're kind of ruining things here in a bit, and they back off the directive, and then it comes back again.
Yeah. No, it could be. Listen, they meet up once a month at the end of the month and stuff like that, and they go over it. And obviously, they're not. They know what they're not. They know what's going on social media and what fans are saying and stuff like that. And it has been a bit. Listen, obviously the new laws were introduced as well. So on one thing, I know a lot of the bookings hasn't been about that, but managers have to discipline the players now and say, listen, it's only the captain can talk to the referee. Some of the yellows are coming from that. I'm not saying all of them, because there's a hell of a lot there, but some of them are coming from that. So from that point of view, the new laws of the game, I think from a club point of view, a manager has to discipline the players for that. But yeah, I was just looking at the Chelsea game. For me, if you're giving out some of these yellow cards, as I seen in the Chelsea game, because to be honest with you, the Bournemouth Chelsea game,
it wasn't even that dirty.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, because it wasn't one of those games. It wasn't like that at all. It's only that Taylor made it into something. And if you're on the field of play, you're kind of looking, going, I don't want to make a challenge. I know if I'm on yellow cards, I know it's going to be second yellow card by the way he's going on. Like, do you know what I mean? But it wasn't that type of game at all. If it was like one that springs back, remember that Spurs and Chelsea game in Stamford Bridge before, and I think it was Clattenburg was in the middle, and there was so many yellow. There should have been reds and yellows and this, that, and the other. It wasn't like one of those games. So. But yeah, it is. They're gonna have to meet up at the end of this month and reconfigure something, because you can't go on that way. Like, we were slagging on one of the referee forums there about, because obviously with each yellow card the club pays a fine, so it'd be going towards the Christmas drinks for referee and stuff like that. But yeah. It's not much. I think it's only £35 for per yellow card the club has to pay, which doesn't seem a lot, obviously, if you're a Premier League club, but they still have to pay it and stuff. But yeah, no, it has gone ridiculous in a way. You're looking at it going, like, you're watching we always talk about reeling in the ears and Premier League years. You're looking at some of the challenges and all, and it's just, you can't do that anymore, and it's such a shame. But the referees they're bringing in all these new laws where they're not leaving the referees and not much leeway on what they can and cannot give, So it's tough. It's frustrating as a fan, but as a referee, you're applying the laws of the game. But it's so tough. Like.
Ted makes a point there. Only 22 for Taylor, considering he smashed 16 out at the weekend. I wonder, do they count the manager ones and stuff like that? The only other thing I could think of is that Taylor's fourth match hasn't gone in there, and that his 4 matches are maybe the Charity Shield or the Community Shield or whatever it is, or something like that. I can't make head nor tail of it anyway, but I can't believe he's had 3 clean matches with just 8 yellows, and then, or not even 8 yellows, 6 yellows. And then
Taylor did a game in the Championship as well this season already, I think. Did he?
Maybe that wouldn't count though. This is purely
no. I'm just saying in general. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it'll be interesting. We're going to keep an eye on this because we're going to be focusing on this year a lot. Like, Warren the same. Where's the blue cards? They wrote back on it, didn't they? They're not doing it, should they? Not at the moment.
No.
They
It was
didn't the PGMOL come
null
out
and
with a
void.
statement saying, "Listen, let's get the reds and yellows sorted first
Yeah.
before we
You're
introduce another
confusing the
layer
situation
of
even
that."
more now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely Morrison wasn't too.
Morris the same. Yeah, not even a dirty game. Warren, I'd be more worried about young Evans' career if he goes to Arsenal. I don't think he'll go to Arsenal. I think, with all due respect to Evan Ferguson, he's a lovely player and stuff like that, but he's not Arsenal level. He's not Arsenal level.
I feel for him over the last while. Obviously, he suffered a lot with injuries and it's knocked his confidence, and he had a bit going on off the field as well with his head and stuff. You know, when you get the fame and money,
talked up so much as well
there's a
about
lot of
big
pressure on him.
moves.
And listen, his dad is a good lad. He would have tried to keep his feet on the ground as much as he could. You know, he's obviously in charge of the DDSL and all over here, and it's one of those things. Obviously, I'm glad he stayed at Brighton. It's where he needs to be to kind of nurture for another season or two, and then maybe get a push into top 6 club. You know.
Yeah, I think you're right, Morris, as well, because I know Taylor and Oliver love booking coaches and coaching staff and medics and anyone they can fling a card at. That's for sure. So be interesting to see what ones they do.
Oh no, they do count, because obviously if I think it was with Klopp before, then you have 4 and you get a suspension. Obviously,
no, I know they count them, but I mean, do they count them in this statistic?
Oh,
that's
sorry,
what I mean.
yeah.
Do they count them in that
Yeah.
yellow card there, or is it purely just players on the pitch?
Yeah.
Because it does call into question Anthony Taylor's 22. If he dished out 16 at the weekend, and obviously 2 of those I think were coaches, weren't they, or something like that?
Yeah, no, they were.
So the players are all soft now. We need a few more big right gains and Vieira tackles.
100%. They're all bleeding brands and athletes, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. All in the gym every day in tip-top shape, get a little ankle tap and scream like they've been
Sure, I had a conversation with a lad actually from Kilkenny, from a place called Callan there, and he was in with me last week, and we were talking about the hurling, you know. And we were talking about, you know, when you watch Reeling in Years back in the 90s, all the hurler, they were all bleeding bellies on them, but they were like rough as you know what. Now they're all bleeding, look like, you know, athletes and stuff like that. How it's changed so much over the years is unreal.
Do you know I used to play Guy years ago at schoolboy level and stuff like that for Benildas and everything and all, right?
Yeah.
But I played one hurling match, I think it was. Sorry, one official hurling match. I played a hurling match for Crokes down in Glenalbyn. And I took a hurley to the ribs, right? A full force hurley to the ribs. And I went down and I went home. I put the hurley and the helmet in the corner and I said, I'm never playing hurley again. That was it.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Anyway, I've never took a belt and like it. I want to say this. I took a full force into the ribs.
It's something else.
Never again. Couldn't even breathe. I was on the ground. I thought he had smashed me rib cage. And this was the old ones with the band on it and everything. I'm going back a bit now, like, you know, but oh my god, it's absolute war. Hurling is war.
Oh, big time. Fastest ball game in the world.
Del Boy knows what's going on, and Chippy is looking after him. He lives near him in Brighton, apparently. There we go.
Well, Evan's dad was out with Liam. They were out. Oh, Liam was over here a few weeks ago. They were out in is a house in Leeson Street or something like that. Him and Liam Brady and Ray Parler and stuff. I think Paul Merson liked the home early, but yeah. So they are good friends. So they know each other from the DDSL and the league over here and stuff. You know.
Yeah, we were. I think that was a senior level, Morris. We all were made wear them, and thank God we were. Thank God we were.
Back, like, Jesus Christ!
Like. Lads taking slithers to the forehead and everything and all, like madness. Lads getting faces smashed up and all, crazy. To play hurling, you have to be a special type of tapped in the head. Now, to be fair, absolutely. Like I said, I dipped my toe in Ted and I dipped it straight back out pretty quick. And listen, I'm durable.
Well, you know, choice. You know, St. Lawrence's and Benildas, and obviously we had to play with Kilmacook Crokes and all growing up, because you know yourself.
Yeah, and look at what Crokes became, like, in fairness.
Yeah,
we used to play snooker down there in Glenalbyn as well. That was good days.
Oh, don't get me started on snooker.
Down in the basement.
I'm trying to convince Yvonne to go down to Newbridge in October. Dennis Taylor and stuff. Steve Davis is coming over and all, and yeah, I think it's John Virgo as well. Yeah, so they're doing
the seniors. Or are they just
No,
doing a night?
just an exhibition and a Q&A with the three of them to chat about the 1985 final and stuff. Remember
Oh, cool.
Taylor with the Q in the air and stuff. So yeah,
Oh,
we're trying
giving it
trying to
the,
go
giving it
the
the
black ball
lads.
game. Yeah, the
And
black ball game.
the shades were nearly on his mustache at this stage. They
Yeah,
weren't
yeah,
even on the glasses.
yeah.
Remember
So
the
obviously,
glasses when he brought them out first?
yeah, obviously Davis missed the what he would have thought would be a sitter, and then it was a hard cup for Taylor on the black, and yeah, it was unreal. So yeah, I'm trying to convince Yvonne to go down to that. So fingers crossed, lads.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. That'd be very cool.
Yeah.
What have you made of this when you look at this list of refs? Just one question to kind of round it out and stuff like that. Who are you picking if you're allocating a ref to if you've one game this weekend? Let's say City versus Man United, Manchester Derby.
Yeah.
Who are you picking out of this list of referee? Who would you like to see from what you've seen?
Well, knowing the Premier League like they do, if it was say a Liverpool and United game, it'd be either Taylor or Oliver for that. Because
But
obviously
if you're PGMOL, who are you allocating to the game? Who
well,
would
that's
you
what I'm saying.
allocate
That's
to
who
a game of that
they would.
stature?
But if I was doing it, I'd probably give someone like Jared or Darren a game because obviously we've seen the likes of Taylor and Oliver and Chris Kavanagh do those types of games. There's you'd want to see someone different in there. Obviously, Craig Parsons done a few back in the day and stuff, but yeah, probably Darren or Jared, I'd say.
Rough, Warren. Rough. I tell you, hurling is rough. Ted's going for Atwell. That's a shoe.
Yeah, sure. Atwell, yeah.
That's a shoe.
One red card.
I thought the ref yesterday was pretty good in the North London Derby.
Yeah, he let it flow at times and stuff like that. But
Marcy, he
again,
nothing to do.
happening.
He nothing to do.
I was just going to say that he let it flow at times, but there wasn't much happening in the game. We've seen obviously. Listen, obviously the Timber situation in the corner at that time was a talking point, but I thought they dealt with it pretty well. Like I said, the kind of the melee afterwards, if you want to call it that, he could have produced a second yellow card as a caution for Timber and sent him off there and then. But
he could have hit close to the 16 if he just wanted to start.
Yeah. But no, I
cards out like
I thought he
absolutely.
dealt with it. I thought he dealt with the game pretty well, but it wasn't like your typical North London derby.
Do you know what I love? Do you know what I love? I love when a row kicks off like that and there's a group of players and it's all going all over the place.
Yeah.
I love the way the ref just stands back with the hands behind the back. And the two linesmen come in from either side, hands behind the back, and the three of them are just standing there, just observing everything.
Yeah,
just observing everything. And then,
sure, you have to.
Do you know the funny thing about it though? It kicks off and there's about 10 lads killing each other, right? And it always only ends up with a yellow card for one player and another player, doesn't it? You rarely see a whole bunch of lads getting it.
Yeah, usually it's whoever initiate it, But I've had plenty of them myself. I think I told you before. I remember me mate Gar unpublished.
What's the most you've carded in a situation like that when you've refed?
I was just going to say that.
Have you ever dished out a bunch like?
Oh yeah. I remember landing FC in Ballyfermot. Like there was I would say 50-50, but the two lads went in 2-foot challenge. So I sent Landon player off, and I think it was Castle Knock or Knock Line or something like that. And then there was a big everyone came in, and obviously like you just say, you just stand back. I was just blowing the whistle, standing back, and I was trying to remember all the numbers of all the players. I think it must have been about 7 or 8 yellow cards and stuff like that, and I had to send one of the coaches off as well. So, but that game with Gar, his young lad Billy used to play up front. Billy was ahead the ball, and it was a cup game, Green Hills against St. John Bosco in Brickfields on the Astro, and your man off Bosco tackled Billy and they went down and the play goes ahead, but I turned around and just seeing Billy punch him in the back of the head. I'm like, oh, Billy, no, fuck's sake, like, come on. There's only about 10 minutes to go because there's two senior teams warming up at the side and the referee. So seeing Billy throw the punch and your man's on the ground. So sent Billy off, and again there was a little bit of melee, red card. And in fairness, the referee said I dealt with the situation really well because I sent Billy off, and not only did I send him off, I actually physically got Gary over, brought him off to the pitch, and just tried to calm the situation down. But yes, it was.
In that moment, and you're going, oh no, Billy. Are you also going, oh Marky, why did you turn around?
Yeah, but it's weird because when I turned around, I seen him like this, and it was one of those moments. It was like slow motion. I was like, oh,
And you
Do
couldn't
you know
say
what I mean?
anything to stop him, obviously, of course.
I was like,
That's
in my
crazy.
head, I was just like, Billy, what the fuck are you doing to me, man? Yeah, but because he was just a wind-up merchant. But yeah, sent him off, few yellow cards. I obviously booked your man as well for the initial foul with Billy and stuff like that. But yeah,
It's
crazy.
mad, isn't it? It's crazy, and yeah, I just it's one of those sort of like hidden passions of mine where just a big melee breaks out, and the ref is always just standing back observing, and the two linesmen come in as well, and they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
stand there and they're just
yeah,
observing everything. And there's lads are killing each other, and then the next thing is just one yellow for you, and everyone else go away.
yeah.
You know
And
what I
it's
mean?
funny because like you'd be standing there and like obviously we don't have the linesman when we're out there on a Saturday or
Mm.
Sunday, and you're obviously trying to look at the numbers, but then coaches and parents and all pile onto the pitch, and you're like, oh, here for
Oh
fuck's
yeah,
sake, like you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like so, you're trying
yeah.
to take count of who's doing what and stuff, but yeah, you
Yeah.
just end up booking them all.
Or you end up getting parents to do linesman. Oh my god.
Oh, stuff goes.
Yeah.
Oh, your head to be melting.
He was a mile offside.
Yeah.
Of course he was. He's your
Oh,
son.
lads. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no,
Like
it's
you
crazy.
always
Yeah.
get that. I've had some good laughs out in Cardiff with the line and stuff like that as
Mm.
well. You know, it's good crack.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Warren's in. Don't forget, folks, head over to Warren's channel and make sure those rebroadcasts he's putting up that got deleted. Make sure you're liking and viewing those. Get the views up there for him and all. And while you're over there, subscribe to the channel as well. This man's putting in stellar work with the boys for Arsenal this season and all, and does some great shows. I was going to play Aussie Reels for the London Hawks years ago until I met my teammates and decided better of it. I was the shortest guy by about 8 inches, and I was 5'11". Warren, these guys are monsters, aren't they? Aussie Reels, good lord. They used to show Aussie Reels years ago, didn't they, on Channel 4 or Screen Sport or something
Yeah,
like
they
that?
used to. It was Channel
Jeez.
4. Yeah.
Remember the guys used to jump up to catch the ball, and your man would be going in with the
Yeah.
forearm straight into the back while your man's up
Yeah.
in the air. And all. Now the
So
lads that get
remember,
stretched off.
Morris might be able to tell us. Remember the GAA lads used to play against the Aussie Reels lads. There used to be a game over here in Croker and then over there as well.
Oh, and then over there they used to do, they used to do, what was it called? The something rules.
So
What was it
yeah,
called? Yeah, the unified rules or something like that.
yeah. It was like
Unified rules,
it
yeah.
used to be great to watch. Like
I'd say the Galads loved it, but when the Galads walk down the pitch, and Galads aren't that small either, they're pretty hefty and built and all.
yeah.
But those Aussie rules, lads, they are ginormous.
Oh, sure. A
Ginormous.
lot of the women GA players from over here move to Australia and take up Aussie Reels. The clubs would be signing them and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, Morris, yeah, mixed rules. Yeah, they used to
Mixed
unify
Reels,
them,
yeah.
don't they? But it was basically, they used to
It was great.
incorporate all the rules that just allowed you to have a scrap. And they were always there was always a scrap in them as well, wasn't there, between the GAA lads and the
Yeah.
Aussie Reels lads? It's like
It
they
was
were
great.
dying for it. Kick something off. Someone kick someone in the backside and get it going or something like that.
RTA, RTG, Cahara used to be on. Yeah,
And
back in the
then
day.
here they'd be out for a couple of hours later. They'd be in a bar somewhere having scoops.
That's it.
Mad, isn't it?
Morris,
They wear
have they
clothes
stopped
down.
doing it, or why did they stop doing it? Like,
I think was there a falling out between both federations or something like that?
was there?
Oh, over something, or did a player get badly injured or something like that?
Right,
I
it could be
think,
something. I'm
from
not
what
too
I can
sure, but it
remember,
used to be class. Like.
something happened and it just went or something like that. So not too sure though. Thanks, Cheapy. Absolutely, make sure you support them. Great stream. Thanks, Henry. Really appreciate it, my
Cheers,
friend.
man. Cheers,
So
buddy.
don't forget, folks, tomorrow night as well, Pro Wrestling Weekly, 7:00. Then we'll do some sort of match reaction. I don't know whether I'm going to be on Jack's channel or do my own match reaction or whatever it is to the Milan game. Hopefully it's a good result for us. Wednesday, back on with Mark. William Taylor is on, Chief Scout in Ireland for Norwich City. Gonna have a bit of crack with Willie. Mark has all the background there. Mark has all the bullet points down and all. Warren's in Aussie Reels. You can see it on TNT Sports. Oh my god! It's
Well, actually, for Morris, we'll actually play with Kilkenny and stuff and Bray and Longford. So all the lads in the chat, if you can hop on Wednesday, Will's a good guy and he's going to give us an insight into the scouting for players and stuff like that over here.
It should
to
be
bring them
very
up,
interesting.
you know?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to asking him about how Brexit has changed the landscape.
Yeah,
that's one of my questions for him tomorrow night. So you can't ask that one. I'm keeping that one. You can ask him about college
Morris
stuff
and
and
Ted
all
will
that stuff.
come in the chat straight away. William.
Ted's in. GA kept winning the games. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure whether they did or not either. Yeah, I think it was fairly Sammy D in the PWI 500 Niall, number 269. We will be doing a review of the Pro Wrestling Illustrated 500 tomorrow night. I have some views on it, and we'll run down through it and have a bit of crack talking about it. So don't miss the show. Nice little build up to the Champions League as well. Bit of wrestling talk as always. We'll have a lot of fun and stuff like that. So folks, until next time, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like in the video. Make sure you're also supporting all the content and all the channels in the chat there, especially Warren's tonight, who's had a bit of bad luck in terms of videos being deleted by some pox. I heard Warren was on a mad one earlier on that video about it and stuff like that. So make sure you're supporting Warren. Puts in some stellar work and stuff like that. But Ted's channel as well, Morris's channel, anyone else, Henry's as well. Make sure you're supporting them all. It's really, really important, folks. I have a question for Wednesday night now. It's around Brexit, if you believe. There you go. There you go. Get out of there, Ted. You. The thing with Aussie Reels is you can't get sent off, and therefore scraps break out all the time. Yeah, they sim bin them, don't they? They sim bin them in the Aussie Reels and stuff like that. Yeah, you tear the fella's head off and you get a 5 minute in the sim bin. Most lads get 10 years in the joy. But yeah, absolutely, it's madness. Yeah, but something else, and it flows as well. It doesn't break down much either, like rugby. Night, Morris, appreciate you coming on and stuff like that, and all in the chat and stuff like that. We'll be talking during the week, no doubt, and stuff like that as well. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your week if you can't make the shows, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Cheers, cuz.
Cheers, cuz. Cheers, lads.